Hey guys, what's up? This is another review. This is going to be of Acid Witch's new EP, which came out April 10th, 2015, and I've heard some great shit about this EP, I've heard some terrible shit about this EP. I've heard people say, well, I don't really like the sound they've took on this album, I don't like the way they sound, I don't find it original, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And we'll get to all those opinions as we go. Now I'll explain the rundown on this. One thing I have to say, the artwork on this is fucking cool as shit. If you haven't seen the artwork, it'll be in the thumbnail of this video, so you can look at it there. I don't actually own the album at the moment, but what can you do? Usually I buy Hill's Headbangers releases around Christmas time, or I get those. If somebody asks me what do you want, I say go to Hill's Headbangers, anything by this band, and they usually buy it for me. So I'll probably get this picked up I'll probably pick this up. But let me just give a rundown. 4 exclusive covers of heavy metal songs from 80s horror movies. Sorcerer's I'm Back from the Rocktober Blood movie. Fastways After Midnight from Trick or Treat. Black Roses Soldiers of the Night from the movie Black Roses. And 45 Graves Party Time from the Return of the Living Dead. There's 2 versions of 45 Graves Party Time. One's the zombie version, which was on the Return of the Living Dead. That's the backstory of the music. This EP is a fucking love letter to old cult horror movies, so you'll hear samples from each movie in between. And I know Canyon Bickle said, I fucking don't like 2 songs off this. I understand, some of it's glammy, and just listen to this. Sounds a bit, clean song, and a really clean song, but let me just explain. All these songs some of these are just like, fun covers, just something to enjoy. So, 1 second. Yeah. So there's sound clips, obviously, from the movies, because usually bands include those anyway, so they decided to include some. We get to hear a heavy glammy side of Acid Witch. I never expected to see that, but it's here. And Acid Witch covering I'm Back is great. I think Sorcery's version is great, and I think this version is great. I love the sound of this song, and it's just really interesting to hear them go with clean vocals, but gritty vocals also. And the thing is, you might expect death metal, like doom death vocals, like, oh, they're probably going to be a little bit undecipherable. Not fucking true. Every word that comes out of Slasher Dave's mouth sounds dead on, like Slasher Dave, and usually Shaggrass sings a bit too. Both of his vocalists sound fucking dead on, like you can hear every word. There's no like, oh, what's he saying? The lyrics are pretty clear. So I'm Back, even when he does do a little bit of the death metal vocals, still sounds really nice. And I just like that track. It's not my favorite track, but we're moving to that one now. Next is After Midnight. This is a cover of Fastway, obviously. Fastway being the band that Fast Eddie Clarke left after he broke up with Motorhead and went on to do his own thing. And this opens with another hilarious sound clip from the movie, I believe, and then it heads into a more upbeat Acid Witch sound. But the traditional vocals are here. The traditional heaviness is here. The vocals are gritty, but I can understand every fucking word. Even without looking at the lyrics to the song by Fastway, I can understand the words. Guttural, but extremely easy to understand, basically. Like, not even guttural, just almost like he's just fucking dying for a breath after a hard bong rip. But the cheesy keys and dirty production really make this song, and I think it sounds like a 1980s song. If the vocals were clean as Fastway, I could see this being in a horror movie, just as quick as the Fastway version was. And this is probably the best cover of a song by Fastway I've ever heard. A few 2 or 3 other ones, but this is a really good cover, and it's my favorite track on the EP because it is so good. But Soldiers of the Night is another track, which is the third track, and it's a cover of Black Roses. The Black Roses was a band I wasn't really truly familiar with before I listened to this EP, but I've listened to the original, and I like this song. It's a good cover. It's my least favorite on the album, but it's still probably it's a really good solid song, and I got no complaints about it. Opens with keyboards and soft vocals, which you'd say, what the fuck? Acid Witch with soft vocals? Is that even possible? It is, because it happened. And I think the soft vocals kind of just sound interesting. Not even like soft, just not growled and not guttural, which is okay. I like softer, but I also love the gutturals on this. I like just the gruff fucking way he sings on this. And I know Canyon said like he doesn't like certain songs on this album. Now, I'm suspecting it's I'm Back and Soldiers of the Night, but you can't always expect him to do the same thing. And this is not an average Acid Witch release. This is not fucking Stone. This is not Wishsanic Hallucinations. This is not even the split with Nunslaughter. This is just their own shit. This is different, and they wanted it to be different. And I enjoy the fuck out of this track. And now this is my favorite track. I'm just gonna turn it on because it's not my favorite, but it's the one that was released before the album. And I've only heard this fucking track, I'd say 500 fucking times, at fucking least. If not 500, at least 250 fucking times. Over and over, this was on my iPod. I only had this track off the EP because I couldn't find downloads. Yes, I download until I buy the physical release. Just for my iPod. Usually I rip it off the YouTube video. That's all I fucking do. But I do buy the physical releases, don't fucking bitch at me. But I had this song on my iPod for months, just over and over, fucking belting it into my head. Just listen. And I think this song is probably, if After Midnight wasn't such a good song, this would definitely be my fucking top song. But this is right up there with it, really. It opens with a sound clip from the movie, one of my favorite sound clips from the movie. It's like, do you like sex and death? It's like, yeah, so why don't you fuck off and die? Paraphrase, but you know what I mean. And it's a very upbeat track, as you can hear, and I find this version better than the 45 Grave cover, the 45 Grave original. I like 45 Grave, but the lead singer's vocals, her vocals are just shrill at times, and it kind of cuts at me, and it's abrasive. And not abrasive, not even a black metal abrasive where I like that kind of abrasion. It's just, fuck. What are you doing? Like, you sound like a fucking screaming hag. Like, there's so many good female singers, and she can be a good female singer, but on this track I found her voice to be just too grating. So I like their version a little bit better, and I think it's just wipes out the abrasive vocals. That's like I said, that's why I find it a little bit better. But it's upbeat. I'm telling you, if you want to listen to something to headbang to and just laugh at and have a fucking good time, this EP is fucking what you want. There's tracks where you can headbang, tracks where you're like, yeah, this is fucking like great shit. There's no bad moments on this EP. There's no point where I'm like, ah, fuck, I gotta skip this track or skip through a little part. Even sound clips, I like those being there. Sometimes I don't like sound clips being in albums because I kind of feel like it breaks up the continuity of it. But in this EP, it's perfect. They couldn't use it in any better of a way. It's dead on. So, like I said, great EP. If you haven't checked it out, check the fuck out. If you're gonna be like, oh, well, it's not original Acid Witch material, it's fucking Acid Witch covering 80s metal and punk songs. The fuck are you doing with yourself? Just go fucking check this out. This is great shit. I fucking commend the guys for doing justice to the covers, because I know people have done this shit before and I shit all over it. So, great job. And I gotta say, the artwork on this, there's pieces of that artwork that I would get fucking tattooed on me. That fucking punk rock dude, green skull with the fucking blue mohawk, that's tattoo worthy. And so is the Grim Reaper looking dude, who looks like the Walls of Jericho guy from Halloween. So, yeah. I'm going to give this album an 85 out of 100. I really think it's worth that. I would give it a higher rating, but like I said, the Soldiers of the Night cover is not as good as I really wanted it to be, but everything else on this is just fucking dead on. And that's all I gotta say about this. Buy this fucking EP like I am going to, and fucking blast it. Good shit, and as I always say, peace to fuck out.